Okay, this is a program that was released years ago, and I want you guys to pay attention to what I have to say. So Kevin Trudeau came out with this program years ago and is actually given out for free for a limited time. There's a link in my descriptions below. I want you to click on that link, and that link is going to take you to a sales page. I'm going to teach you guys how to get it for free. This is how you do it. What you're going to do is going to come down here. You're watching on YouTube. You click on this link, okay? And it's going to bring you to a sales page. Once you're on the sales page, you don't have to read through all of it. You just click buy now. Once you click buy now, I want you to scroll down a little bit and type in the coupon code so you can get it for free. It's YWIYC. Your wish is your command. You can see that if you don't have this coupon code, you'll be spending $500. You click on apply. With the discount code, you get it completely for free. Now you go back up. You fill in the contact, billing, and payment information. It's not going to charge you anything, and complete your order. You're going to get an email in your inbox right away. You want to click on that link in your email to access the program completely for free. So this is a 14 audio series, Your Wish is Your Command, how to manifest your desires. All right. I started listening to this, I would say three years ago, and I listen to it every single year. Every single year, I learn something from the CD set, something that I can apply. So if you're interested in manifesting your dreams, if you want to achieve more in life, you're interested in, let's just say, Dr. Joe Dispenza, you like listening to Neville Goddard, Charles Hunnell, you're like Greg Braden, okay? All these guys, if you like to listen to Kevin Trudeau, okay? If you like to listen to Napoleon Hill, right? Earl Nightingale. This is up your alley. You guys want to pay attention to this. So I want to give you guys the broad strokes on your wish is your command. What is it all about, and how can it help you in your daily day-to-day activities to achieve your goals? There are many components to this. I'm only just providing the broad scope, because in the CD set, that's where you're going to really dive into very deeply each one of these specific components, so you can really learn and understand how it's all tied in together. What I'm going to do is to check on my stream real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm also streaming on Give me 1 second. Okay, it is working. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. I'm going to break down these lessons one by one. What is your wish is your command? It's a series of different lessons. And these lessons, they're all tied in together. You can't just have one without the other. They all tied in together and need to work with them comprehensively. Now, when you're listening to these lessons, you're like, this is very understandable. It seems very simple, which is like Kevin says, it takes about 5 minutes to learn, but a lifetime to master. When it comes to your wish is your command, there are 4 major lessons. Number 1, who do you listen to? Number 2, teachability index. Number 3, training balance scale. And number 4, 4 steps to learning. So I'm going to go through these one by one. For the first one is, who do you listen to? When you're trying to improve your life, I don't care if it's your finances, I don't care if it's for your health, for your relationships. You need to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. There are 2 components right here. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Most of us have been trained to listen to all the wrong people. For example, there was a season in my life I wanted to lose weight. I was in Southern California, in San Diego. Now I thought that, well, these people at the gym, these personal trainers, they definitely know more than me. So I want to get some personal training with them, maybe sign up with them. But at that time, I was just thinking, okay, they have some background with this. They may gonna go to college. They have some certificates. But many of these trainers, I don't know other locations that was a 24-hour fitness. Some of the trainers I was looking at, they were severely out of shape. Yes, severely out of shape trainers are out there training people for money, and people pay them. And you really have to ask yourself, this is the type of energy I want to be around. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Do you want to be where they're at? Do you really want to be where they're at? Okay? If you want to be more overweight, work with an overweight trainer. Here's another example. When you go to the doctor, okay, many people, fall into the authority bias that says, obviously the doctors know more than I do. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to take their advice at face value without listening to my own intuition, my own research, nothing. So they go in, they're going to tell you to go run a bunch of lab tests. It says, okay, go to the first and second floor, give me my ECG, do a blood test, give me my whole blood panel, maybe you do an x-ray, do an MRI, etc., etc. And the whole time, this doctor is looking very, very severely out of shape himself or herself. And you're just wondering, listen, they're looking at my different tests and they're criticizing, well, these values are within range, these values are out of range. You got to be careful here, you got to be careful there. Have you ever asked your doctor to go on the first and second floor and run all these tests? Sometimes it takes you half a day to run all these damn tests and come back and look. Doctor, you can't even fix yourself. A lot of these doctors are severely out of shape. They're not healthy. They have multiple chronic diseases. And you're going to these doctors thinking, oh, obviously they can help me. How are they going to help you? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. If you're listening to somebody like a health practitioner, they better be in shape. They better be vibrantly healthy. They're not one of these guys that gets sick very often. Okay, always posting on social media about how sick they are. It doesn't make any sense. And we've been trained to listen to all the wrong people. Here's another example. Maybe you're at the gym, you're in your 40s, and then you're looking at a fit personal trainer, and this fit personal trainer, 21, 22 years old, they have their metabolism firing all cylinders. And they're just telling you the reason why you're out of shape is because you're not doing calorie counting and you're not doing the exercise like I told you to. Listen, when you're in your 40s, your hormonal imbalances, many different factors that come into play that affects your weight. When you're 20s, many people, they can have a six-pack abs and still eat pizza and beer every other day, no problem. So how's this 20-year-old going to help you? You might going to do the situation where you're one step forward, two steps back. What I mean by that is you're taking their advice, but there's so many things off their radar screen. They can't really relate to the situation you're going through right now. They don't know about your hormonal problems. They don't know about your, experiencing all these fluctuations with your weight loss rebound, because they've pretty much had a pretty healthy life up to that point. So you need to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Be very selective about, okay, I'm looking for advice. I want to better my life. But do these people really understand where I'm coming from, my problems? It could be a relational problem. Okay, it could be financial problems. It could be a health problem. A lot of people, they go on different forums to look for the wrong advice. Let's just say they want to get into better marriage advice. They want to have a better marriage. But they are getting advice from a bunch of people that have been divorced multiple times. How is that going to help you? So you need to evaluate who has a voice in your head right now. And some of these people, you don't even see them physically. They're just online. You're watching their YouTube content, etc., etc. But can they really help you? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This first lesson, many components to this. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. The next lesson is the teachability index. Okay. And there are two components to this. Let's talk about this a little bit. I'm going to go into my slideshow. What is your willingness to learn? How teachable are you? How teachable are you? How do you know if you're a teachable person? Many people think that I'm very teachable. How do you quantify how teachable you are? Well, according to Kevin Trudeau, you can actually figure this out. You have to give yourself a very objective assessment. The teachability index has two components. Number one, what is your willingness to learn? Okay, what is your willingness to learn on a scale of 0 to 10? And what is your willingness to accept change, also on a scale of 0 to 10? I'm going to give you an example. What is your willingness to learn? Help you understand this a little bit more. How do you know you have a willingness to learn? Perhaps you want to increase your income, right? Well, to do that, you need to learn a new set of skills. You need to set aside your time. Maybe your favorite activities. Some of y'all could be football. Some of you could be playing golf with your friends, playing video games, watching your favorite TV shows. You're on Amazon Prime videos, or you're on Hulu accounts, Netflix. You're willing to set that aside. You're willing to say, you know what? I'm going to set aside my video games, set aside my favorite activities, my, I would say, recreational activities. Set that time aside and actually learn something to help me better my skill set so that I can increase my value in the marketplace. And you have to give yourself an honest assessment. It's not just something that you do once every, once a month or something like that. You have to do this very, very consistently. Many people, they come home after work. What do? They turn on Netflix. That's the only thing they look forward to. They hate going to work, but they're just kind of stuck in that rut. They're just going to continue to drown themselves in TV shows. That's kind of the only thing that can bring them that relief. Well, in order to change your life, you have to be very teachable. Your willingness to learn, that means that I'm going to set my time aside. Instead of watching my favorite Netflix TV shows, I'm going to read some books. I'm going to listen to some audio programs, maybe attend some events, maybe create some events of my own to connect with like-minded people. There are also events online, conferences online. Willing to set aside time to better your life. Give yourself a score from 0 to 10. Next, what is your willingness to accept change? This is a very difficult thing to do because there are many people, they do have that willingness to learn. They are spending the time. They are attending the conferences, conference warriors, buying the books. They have so many different books, the courses that they bought, but they haven't done anything with it. It's kind of like people get all pumped up. They want to do P90X with Tony Horton. So they buy his program. But that program is just sitting there on the shelf, or they have been watching the TV program, that P90X program, but they're not doing any workouts. And that just shows you your willingness to accept change is 0. So there are two components. The first part, what is your willingness to learn? A scale of 0 to 10. What is your willingness to accept change? Also on a scale of 0 to 10. Now, if you say that, well, I have that willingness to learn, it's 10 out of 10, fantastic. But you're a 0 out of 10 when it comes to your willingness to accept change. You're multiplying these numbers together, so you're 10 out of 10 with your willingness to learn, but you're 0 out of 10 with your willingness to accept change. 10 multiplied by 0 is still a 0. That means you are not teachable. Once again, these lessons, they sound so simple, but this is something you have to really look at yourself in the mirror and say, where I'm at right now, today, what is my willingness to learn? What is my willingness to accept change? What changes am I making right now? Not that I learned something, I don't care what that is. You're actually applying it to the best of your ability on a daily basis to move the change, to get some momentum, get some progress growing. And that's how you can get feedback, right? For people, they want a great physique in their 40s, that better be working out in their 20s and 30s. That's how it's going to work. It's not just going to show up You're not going to show up in your 40s with a six-pack. It doesn't work like that. And time just flies so quickly. And you want to always keep top of mind that there's something new for me to learn. There's something new for me to actually accept change. I'm actually going to apply that into my life. Right? And I love this game because at every stage of the game, you're learning something new. If you're applying what you learn, it's almost like a new door opens for you because the universe sees that you're very faithful. And now you learn something that was previously before off your radar screen. It was not even in your conscious awareness. Right? Me personally, I wanted to lose weight. I was going to the gym. I had a personal trainer. This is also in Southern California, San Diego. But I still wasn't seeing the results that I was looking for. But because I was willing to do all the things that I knew, new information came into my radar screen. There was a lot more than just calorie counting, more than just doing the exercises, doing the reps, doing the sets, put them in my notebook. There's a lot more to it. And I'm still on the journey, but I'm very, very grateful. For many, many years now, I have now weight loss rebound. So if you guys want me to share a little bit more about that down the line, I can do it. Next part in your wishes to command is the training balance scale. So think of this scale, okay, rocks back and forth. On one side of the scale, it's about how you think and how you feel. Your why. What are your dreams, your goals, your attitude, your mental processes, your vibration, your internal motivation? So on one side of the scale, that's the side of the scale. It's about how you think and how you feel. On the other side of the scale, it's about the how actions, specific techniques. What are the strategies, your action steps, plans, activities, physical action. Now, most people, they always stress on this side of the scale. They say the reason why you're not where you're at is because you don't know the how. You don't know the specific techniques. You don't know the strategies, the action steps. Now, according to Kevin, this is completely reverse. You need to be spending more of your time on how you think and how you feel. What is your why? What are your dreams, goals, and attitudes? Your mental processes? What is your vibration? Even right now, what's your internal motivation? That will be the driving force. So he places a lot more emphasis on this side of the scale of how you think and how you feel. Napoleon Hill, he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. He didn't write toil and grow rich, strive hard to the bone and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Now, of course, I'm just providing the broad strokes on your wishes, your command, the CD set, and I give you the instructions how to get the CD set completely for free. Okay, earlier on this call, I want you guys to get this. And Kevin's going to teach you the training balance scale, but I still focus on it. I'm still learning. I'm still extracting new information out of these lessons year over year because I want to remain very teachable. Doesn't matter how much you learn, doesn't matter how many times you listen to the CD set, it's constantly changing you. And as you change, there are going to be moments of epiphany, kind of like when you have an aha moment. Maybe you're reading through a book. I was reading a book a couple of weeks ago, The Quantum Leap, Price Pritchett, or U Squared. I think the book is called U Squared. And definitely opened up my inner eye to many things. So that's training balance skills. So far we talked about who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Evaluate right now who's in your ear right now in different aspects of your life. Do they have what you want? Some people, they are just in a circle with a lot of negative influence all day, every day, and they can't seem to get out of it. It's what they're addicted to. They're physically attached, emotionally attached to these negative emotions, storytelling, and you'll never really get to where you want to be because you're more focused on what isn't going right rather than what is going right. So changing your circle of friends is important, and changing who you subscribe to on YouTube is important. Maybe you're installing something called Newsfeed Eradicator, something that I've installed on my own YouTube browser, and that eliminates the noise, okay? Because what they're trying to do, they want to pull your attention, right? Just watch this video, watch the next video, watch. And it's just become a consumption machine. You're not really producing, you're not really putting your voice out there. Teachability index, what is your willingness to learn? On a scale of 0 to 10, what is your willingness to accept change? Also on a scale of 0 to 10, and you're multiplying these numbers together to find your teachability index score. Training balance scale, one side of the scale is about how you think and how you feel. On the other side of the scale are the how action specific technique, strategies, action steps, plans, and activities. Kevin Trudeau is placing more emphasis on the importance of how you think and how you feel. Next, we're going to talk about the 4 steps to learning. Once again, these lessons takes about 5 minutes to learn, but a lifetime to master. I want to provide some information regarding this. We all go through these different stages of learning. The first part is unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. And many people don't even want to admit that. They don't want to admit there are things that are currently off their scope of awareness, or there's so much information beyond what they currently know. Because none of us, we want to feel stupid, right? So what we do, what our mind's been trained to do is, okay, I heard a particular keyword. So I'm going to latch on my information to that keyword or what's already in my bank, my knowledge base. I just want to reinforce the fact that there's so much information off your current set of knowledge. There's always going to be more. And every single year, you're learning even more information. You're never going to know it all. Okay? You don't know what you don't know. The moment you touch upon a particular topic, even if you study a specific organ in your body, there's so much information on that one organ. You can study it for a lifetime and never get through all of it. Unconscious incompetence. Now, as you're learning, you're going to become conscious incompetent. You know that you don't know something. The best example I can give is, listen, you're trying to ride a bike. You don't know how to ride a bike. So when you first start, you may have to get on a tricycle or training wheels. Unconscious incompetent. You don't know how to balance that bike. You don't know how to pedal, balance, get the handles just right. You don't know how to start and stop. But over time, as you get on back on that bike again and again and again, you're like, okay, I'm becoming conscious incompetent at this. And over time, I become conscious competent. You know that you know something. Every single time you get back on that bike, it doesn't become that unfamiliar. You're becoming more familiar. You're developing some muscle memory regarding this topic. And over time, you become unconscious competent. You know and success automatically, even if you don't ride a bike for years and years and years. Maybe you ride a bike very often, going to school, maybe hanging around with your friends. But once you hit college, you go to your workforce, you're not going to be riding that bike very often. But maybe you go on vacation and you're like, oh, I'm going to rent a bike, hang out with my friends. You're not going to become very anxious and be like, oh, I don't know how to ride a bike. Because it's already installed in you how to ride that bike. That's this unconscious competence. And we want to develop that in many aspects of our life. But if it's going to be business, then you want to develop more competence regarding sales and marketing, right? If you want to do dealing with health, I'm still learning. All I'm saying is, I think that nutrition is definitely important. Working out is definitely important. There's also proper sleep, right? But understand that many people, they're dealing with digestive problems. So part of my journey was learning about the digestive system. How does it work? How could I optimize it? How can I clean it out comprehensively? I started to study human physiology. Did you know the combined length of your small and large intestines is 6 meters in total? It's a very long piece of pipework. And many people, they're chronically constipated, as I was. I was chronically constipated, embarrassingly enough. And how do you define chronic constipation? It's very simple. If you're not going to the bathroom every single day, consistently, you're chronically constipated. Waste material is not exiting out of your body. How do you expect your body to be vibrantly healthy if you can't get the waste material out? And the analogy I would give is, listen, you're just not taking out the trash of your home. If you don't take the trash out, what's going to happen? Well, your ants going to be coming in, cockroaches going to be coming in, and over time, you're going to have rats, possums, squirrels, anything. Becoming vibrantly healthy, if you want to develop that six-pack abs, if you want to increase your level of health, you have to move from a place of unconscious competence, because previously you just knew about calorie counting, maybe take some supplements, working out. You're still not getting the results, right? So you know whatever you're doing right now, it's not going to help you achieve your ultimate goal. So you got to start to explore information off your radar screen. It's like, okay, maybe I pick up a book on human physiology. Maybe look up at what John just talked about regarding the digestive system. How do you clean it out? You know, from the small intestines to the large intestines, all the way out back. Here's another topic most people overlook, is the presence of internal parasites. Tapeworms, pinworms, roundworms, liver flukes. There are literally thousands of different internal parasites that could inhabit the human body. Did you know about that? Once again, that's something you probably have a lot of unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. You never looked up any of this information. And that's what's really stopping you from going to the next level. Me, I didn't stop there. I continue to learn. And every single time, I improve my own personal health because I've taken the steps. I've become conscious and competent, become conscious competent, become unconscious competent at these different detox routines that I do for myself. The universe opens up new doors for me, new information off my radar screen. And now I'm learning about how to target my organs one by one. Well, how do I get the gallstones out of the gallbladder? How do I get intrahepatic stones out of the liver? How do I dissolve kidney stones out of the kidneys? How to improve my bladder health? How to improve my prostate health? Many people, they don't fix their health until the situation is so dire. They're in the emergency room or they're at the clinic because they're in that constant chronic pain, sharp pains. I don't want to be like that. I'm in a situation where, listen, there's so many things that I can do to improve my personal health right now. And I don't want to be that person that gets caught off guard. Then that's what I chose for myself. Okay. So I want to share a little bit of my program. If you guys are interested, you guys can check out my link in the descriptions below. So this is me. I could not lose weight. This is me pretty much all year round. I stay in shape. And I teach people how they can improve their digestive system. Okay? And many people, their weight loss methods fail absolutely because they haven't taken account for all this waste material that's currently sitting inside of them right now. I have helped so many people around the world with this program. People in Italy, people in Singapore, Malaysia, people speaking Arabic, people speaking Chinese, people speaking English. So that's my program. I teach you guys how you can clean your small and large intestines completely in the comfort of your own home. Of course, none of this professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Okay, you guys got to find a winning combination for yourself. So today, what did we talk about? Talked about a lot of different things regarding your wishes or command program, and I want to show y'all how you can get it for free completely. This is what you're going to do. Very easy. You're going to click on that link right here. And once you click on that link, it's going to take you to a sales page. But if you don't want to read through this whole sales page, that's perfectly fine. All you got to do is click buy now. You click buy now. First thing you want to do is fill in this coupon code, YWIYC, and hit apply. Once you hit apply, you can see the discount code apply. The total order amount is 0. You're going to come back up here, fill out the contact information, bill information, payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. And you're going to tap complete my order. That's all you got to do. Once you tap complete my order, you're going to see an email in your inbox. You're going to tap on the link in your email, and you're going to get access to your wishes, your command, this 14 audio series completely for free. And this is for a limited time. I don't know how long this is going to be around. I want you guys to take advantage of this, because it's very hard to find this program, right? Even though Kevin's given out for free, you're not going to just randomly find the CD set on YouTube. That's not going to happen. So take every opportunity to learn, to listen through the CD set. Okay. Who do you listen to? Teachability Index, Training Balance Scale, 4 Steps to Learning. So I'm just going to stay online and see if anybody have any questions for me. Be happy to help answer any questions. I don't think anyone's on here, but well, I hope my voice works.